The Divine Mind Podcast. I'm your host, Simply Priceless, and welcome back to another episode of Therapy, the Big Comfy Couch, my show. Y'all probably either watching me on YouTube Premium or with YouTube Premium. You ain't gotta watch the screen. Either YouTube Premium, on the Roku, on the phone, wherever y'all are. Thank y'all for joining me today. Episode 9. We live 9. My life path number. Episode 9. I want to first say kudos to your girl because she's been showing up and she's been consistent. And with that, yeah, I want to thank myself. God, of course. But I think we don't give ourselves enough accolades. As a Black woman, you often bypass one accomplishment to get to another goal. And I think for me, I'm starting to really catch wind of what I'm doing, and I'm starting to really realize, okay, I've done a lot. I'm doing things that are by choice. Yes, I'm choosing to do things, but these things are not things that are mandatory. And to be extending myself even this far, it is a blessing while also, you know, it is what it is, holds whatever challenges or whatever the case may be. But I'm happy. I don't even like use word excited because it's like, yeah, it's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of mid. Like excited is like temporary. I'm feeling feelings of like joy and feelings of alignment. I feel abundant. I feel very much I am where I'm supposed to be. And I'm thankful for y'all because y'all are here with me. So thank y'all for being here. I'm excited, even though I said I don't like for real I am. I don't like saying excited, but woo woo. So we here, episode 9 and episode 8. Wait, let me not bypass y'all, my lovely virtual, soon to be maybe in studio audience. I'm wondering or hoping that everybody's doing well. In case no one has asked you, or in case you needed just a little bit of support, I'm hoping you're doing well. I'm hoping that you're giving yourself grace. I'm beginning to feel like that's going to be how I start every episode because it seems like it just comes to mind. And it's something that I feel like people don't do enough of. I feel like I touch on this on every episode. And of the 9, this being the 9th, it still feels very fitting because I'm still having to figure out what giving myself grace looks like. I'm still having to figure out how I want to sound or what I want to say. And I'm trying to gauge how to incorporate that in with my regular life and my big girl jobs and all the stuff I have going on. So it's a tightrope, but I'm walking it. And again, I'm thankful for y'all to be here. It is a joy. It is a choice. And I feel like I'm choosing myself. I feel like I'm choosing myself. And I feel like every time I sit down and profess this to be a form of therapy, the more it becomes therapeutic and cathartic for me. So I'm appreciative of y'all being here. But it's not so much about the views. It's not so much about, because of course I'm headed to Millie on Millie. But it's something about when you find your flow. It's something about when you figure out what really is working for you and what makes you happy. And honestly, talking has always been cathartic for me. It's always made me feel. But for a while, you can go through life and you can lose your voice, or you can forget what your voice sounds like, or you can tune more. You more in tune with what people think about you or how people think you sound like. Oh no, let me see. Where do I want to go with this? So this for me is a form of therapy. And if this were real life therapy, well, you know, I ain't gonna say if this was real life therapy because it is. And because it is, I got my whiteboard. And this is a good visual. You have writing, which allows you to spell things out. You have visual, which allows you to see, your brain can take in information, process it. And then you have the ability to visually see whatever. Well, visually movie, and well, you can see movies, you can see words, but it's good for you to have different types or ways to learn information. This is why you spell things out and write things out, but this is also why it's good to read. And what I'm saying is, in providing y'all with this whiteboard, I want y'all to see keywords, terminology, things like that. And I want those things to stand out. But also for me, good for me to remember, and best for y'all, because as I'm talking, the word will stand out, but the context will hopefully jump through. So with that, happy to be here. I think for me, as I'm continuing to go and figure out what it is that I'm trying to eloquently say or how I want to sound, I really don't even know. And I'm doing what I'm telling y'all, which is taking things a day at a time. I think one of the really key things right now is journaling. Journaling is a big thing right now. And I kick it off with that because in order to really get a good, in order to really get something out of therapy, you got to have a process of ingesting and releasing. And by that, I mean, it's to say, take in what you need, release what you don't, take in what you need. It's like eat the meat, spit the bones out. Journaling is important, not for nothing else but you, your ideas, your thoughts, your way of rationalizing. Journaling is essential right now because there's so many people that I talked about the last episode, where episode 8 was about basically just, let me see, episode 8, I think I titled it I Think Therefore I Am. It's just about, at this point, you need to be forget getting your rocks off. You need to be getting your thoughts off. You need to be getting them demons off. I ain't gonna get into, people's habits and tendencies, but you know what you need to be doing. You know what you need to be letting go of. You know. And journaling, you ain't gotta tell nobody. You ain't even gotta, you could throw it away. You could literally write it down, take a picture. It doesn't matter. But whatever it is, get it onto paper because you're too busy talking about it. You're too busy planning it. You're too busy saying what you want to do, but you're not writing it out. You're not making plans. And when it comes to releasing, this is the way in which you can bypass people's opinions. You can bypass any it's just, you are able to focus on you. And in order, I feel like, to advance collectively, but individually, because you know what I'm saying, I can't necessarily speak to the collective. I can only reach who I can reach. And right now, please begin your thoughts out. Please begin to just work on your mind, work on your work, just work on yourselves on all accounts. Um, I think I wanted this to be about, the thing that I thought about was timelines. Timelines. So, timelines. Hold on. So, for me, when I think about timelines, when I say timelines, I'm not talking about MySpace. I'm not talking about Instagram. I'm talking about universe. I'm talking about energetic. I'm talking about like universal. I'm talking about stratosphere. I'm not talking about an algorithm. I'm talking about, how do I say this? It's this thing. You don't gotta know all the answers. You just gotta step. And ironically, I keep telling y'all to give yourselves grace. Because there's moments where I just am transparent and saying or out loud, what am I thinking? Or whatever. I don't know. I show up and talk how I talk. And sometimes I lose track. But I think what I was saying was talking about timelines, because I was trying to describe what they are. It's just your path. It's your journey from birth to cremation. Your timeline, your plan from hold up. Because I'm starting to find this is the necessity of this board. And what's funny, the more I incorporate my own genuine, that's why you got to be authentic. Just show up, but also just be you. Because I don't know nobody else with a whiteboard having therapy like this. I know it ain't because I'm doing it. But timelines, you have from birth until, hold up, birth until otherwise. This is your life. This is your life. This is your timeline. You have different markers. Hold up. Let me start this over. So you got your own timeline, your divine mind, your divinity. Like I keep telling y'all, this is the Divine Mind Podcast. I want y'all to really think about why I would name it that and what I mean. When you hear those words, what comes to mind? Do you feel that you are a divine being? Do you know what a timeline is? Or are you wrapped up in everybody else's business? Or just spending your life on timelines that you don't get paid to be on? So when I talk about timelines, I'm talking about your plan, your life, the way your life is supposed to play out, what's supposed to happen for you. And timelines are never going to everybody has a timeline, everybody got their own destiny. So that's ultimately what a timeline is. It's a destiny. This is hype. I'm sweet. Shout out to me. And shout out to me. Just real quick, fast, side point, but the main point, I'm doing phenomenal. And I'm gonna say that because I got the confidence to, for one, but for two, because I'm really seeing myself live out the things that I've talked about and things that I was ambivalent or I don't know if that's the word I'm looking for, but the things that I was really skeptical about, the ways in which I used to care and value people's opinions over even the consideration of my own, striking difference in comparison to where I am now. And I think when you come into an understanding or you begin to realize, like, okay, my life is not theirs. I don't want what they want. I don't have what they have. You begin to understand that time actually, you do have an excess amount of time. It's just the fact that people are so busy trying to get away or get to somewhere or living in the past, not in being in the present. But the timeline, ultimately, your journey, your path. And it is different times for everything. It's time to be born. It's a time to mature. Time to adolescence. It's time to grow. It's time to go into teenage years, go into young adulthood, go into this. You know what I'm saying? It's just a series of scheduled events. Different ages, different. I'm sorry, this look a little sloppy. I'm trying to be whatever, because if this was school and chalkboard, you would have to deal with whatever Miss Jenkins said. So, and my last name is not Jenkins, but you have birth, you got death, and your timeline is all the things that happen in between. Everybody's is different, but the thing is, you can't jump ahead. You have to follow the steps. I hope this is clicking. What's not clicking? What's not clicking? You gotta follow the steps. I hope this can be seen, but it's steps that you gotta follow on your timeline. You cannot jump. Hold up. I don't want to drop the mic. I like holding it. I don't know how I'm gonna do this, and I'm intentionally not stopping the film. I don't care. I'm living, jumping off Mount Fiji, because whatever y'all say or think, this is literally the point. The point is not to care about nobody else because you on your own timeline, flipped and tumbled that. I'm on my own. I'm my own wave. Your own timeline. And this is not trying to be funny, but like this is really just me, myself, and I. You gotta show up and be authentic. And you gotta accept the fact that your life is a manifestation of your thoughts. But you really gotta stop believing that it's a life outside of yours that is greater. And I'm not saying there's people that ain't living in unfortunate circumstances and stuff like that. But it's a lot of y'all that's fortunate that's just complainers. And I feel as though if you accept, it's just it's you gotta stop looking at them people. I be trying to figure out how to pose stuff so that it is digestible and so that it doesn't appear as though I'm putting on. But it's getting to the point where if I show up and I'm on this couch, I gotta stop caring about what y'all think. So as I'm saying it, I'm learning it, I'm practicing it. That's why you ain't gotta be an expert. You just have to be proficient and confident. And for me, and I feel like people need to pay more attention and lean into what you have been given. So the abundance of possibilities, the literal stored potential, instead of exerting a bunch of no, am I saying that right? Kinetic energy is energy in motion. Stored energy, stored potential. I mean, it's just focus on what's in your hand, focus on what's in your what you have. And the most valuable commodity is energy. Energy. Your energy. You know? The most valuable thing you'll ever have. The most priceless gift. Well, I don't want to say the most priceless gift because time is a banger. But in terms of like, man, timelines. It's just really a matter of accepting and just being present in whatever state you in. Somewhere in the Bible to say, I don't want to misquote, but it's just learning to be, what is it? I've learned I've learned to be content. Um, I can't speak to, I'm misquoting. I can't think of the whole, whatever. I'm losing my train of thought. But what I'm saying is, it's okay to be where you are. And I think when people accept and realize that the beauty in where they are and what they can accomplish, and not being, man, I just think it's time out. It's time out for people to stop, like, find more things to enjoy about your life. Find ways to really enjoy what you have, because wherever you are is value, and wherever you are is value in that. It's something unique about where you are in this moment. And I think if people really tap into that by journaling, by reading more, by turning the phones off, unless you turn me on, you know, or a podcast that you appreciate or that you resonate with. But we got to get to a point where we are not swindled and tossed energetically to and fro and always in competition, trying to do something, trying to be somewhere. Like, sometimes you need to just be. Sometimes you need to just be. Just be. Just be. And sometimes it's okay. I understand, like, it's a season for everything. It's a season for reaping, it's a season for harvesting, it's a season for all the things. But it gets to a point where, like, you ain't gotta always be doing something, and you ain't gotta always trying to, because part of your timeline, a lot of it is rest and recharging and regenerating and recalibrating. That is included in the timeline. State of affairs. It's just a part of it. But that's that. So when people start to, I feel like, embrace the now, like, dang, I don't even want to get into it, but I could talk for hours about how, man, I know the feds is watching. I know the people that run this world whatever. I know people is so I know algorithms is, tailor made. Like we create the algorithms and whatever, you know what I'm saying? People listening, but also manifestation. But I feel like it's just everybody's so in a hurry or just so busy or just so it's just like I said, just be where you are and enjoy the moments that you have, even if that means, especially if that means you ain't got to be in a hurry for something. I think in terms of living on your own timeline and in being and just being, you got to learn to think for yourself. Thinking for yourself, having your own ideas. How do you want to live your life? And that seemed like such a vague question. And it's honestly a question that it seems kind of like a simple question, but for real, like I think people kind of go about life in a lucid way, as if life is but a dream. Like, yeah, kind of, but you can't be out here just acting um, like you have to have some sense of direction. And a lot of people, I think, don't understand what they want their life to look like because they're not necessarily in tune or tapped in because you're so in tune and on the frequency of something else. And so with that, you know what I'm saying? I think I think the only way to have a full life is to determine the terms of which you want to live your life. And a lot of things, man, the who, the what, the when, the where, the how, and the why. I think people need to get beyond this idea of manifestation and tune more into alignment. And I think when you determine what you want your life to look like and you tune out of the frequency of somebody else's idea or somebody else's whatever, I think you develop more joy, you feel more fulfilled, and then you can really start to shape your reality in a better way. I think that when people think about manifestation, they don't really think about ways in which, like, so there's manifestation, there's belief. I'm gonna have a stand-in whiteboard eventually, but yeah, manifestation. And then there's belief. Manifestation does not happen without belief. It don't happen without belief. I want to get vulgar, but I will not venture off. You cannot, I don't care. You cannot manifest without the belief. And a lot of the issue with a poor belief system, poor habits, poor thinking patterns. What you surround yourself with. Like, I swear, I be knowing what I want to say, but to formulate it, a doozy. But it's all right. Because like I keep saying, show up anyway. What they gonna say? Why are you doing that? You look like this. Anybody that's attempting to get into creation or create an aesthetic, I would say you don't create an aesthetic, just show up as the lookbook yourself. But anybody that's worried about pursuing a passion, you got dreams, you got goals, you want fame, then don't care about what they think. And show up even if you look silly. Because to somebody, it's like a visual representation of what that person can have. So like you're somebody's vision board, you're somebody's goal, somebody looking at you like, dang, just lusting after you, or looking at you like, dang, I can never do that. Or dang, I feel like I can. You never know how people are looking or how people are really feeling. So whatever that is, whatever that looks like, whatever. But where am I at? So as far as I think how people when you think about what you want your life to look like, be specific. And again, don't listen to the advice of somebody whose life you don't want. Stop idolizing the lives of people that you think their lives are just so fabulous and they have everything I don't. And they have so much of this. You don't know what they living through. You don't know the sexual trauma that they had to endure. You know you don't know the insecurities. You don't know the abnormalities. You don't know the emotional dysregulation. You don't know what they have to carry. You don't know what they had to endure. You don't know what it takes to hold on to that. You don't know what you have to sacrifice for that. You don't know what it takes to understand what it is to balance that. You need to stop worrying about them and you need to stop wishing away or wishing or hoping for something bigger. You do not appreciate what you have. You cannot have more. It's like asking somebody to buy you some boots that bought you boots. It's like asking somebody to buy you some Uggs, some Louboutins. And every 3 months, every time you get a pair of shoes, somebody been buying you shoes 5 years. Every time you get a pair of shoes, 6 months into it, you throw them in your closet. And then your man or whoever find them and they just bottom scraped up looking like whatever. But every time a birthday roll around, you want a new pair of Louboutins. You want a new whatever bag. Whatever your aesthetic or item of choice, whatever that be. It could be sunglasses. It could be Snickers. I don't care. But you asking for something and you don't appreciate what you have. And that's a little silly. Actually, it's a little delusional. Actually, it's a little crazy. It's a little selfish. And I feel like you putting more of a demand on the universe. You putting a demand on God when you ain't appreciating what he gave you. You ain't appreciating what you got. You ain't appreciating the people in your corner. You don't appreciate how far you've come. You don't appreciate your journey. You don't appreciate nothing about you, but you idolizing everybody else. You're not supposed to make idol images or idols of anybody. Graven images, idol images, like sacrilegious practices. Focus on your journey. Because I promise you, theirs is less exciting or it's a heck of a lot stressful or maybe even impossible for you. I really wish you to say, stop asking people how to do content creation, my boy. Homegirl, my girl, cousin. Stop asking them how to create content. Stop asking them what they should do. Because why do you need to know what they should do? Y'all ain't even creating the same thing. Y'all vision boards is completely different. You an engineer, they're a hairstylist. You into tech, they into biogenetics. It really makes no difference what they think and how they manage to garner 80,000 followers or 250K or how they got 1 million followers across platforms, one after the other. You asking somebody headed to Florida how to get to Philly. See how stupid that is? And I'm not judging, but it's stupid. It is. Like, when you really think about it, why am I asking you what you should do? Why would I ask you? Why would I ask you what I should do? Why would you ask them what you should do? Because what they going to tell you? They going to tell you more about your life and more about your experience and more about you than you going to know for yourself. That's... Who said that? Who? I don't know who said that. But for real, what do you have? What you got on you? You got some therapy on you. You got, like, what do you have? What are you wishing for that you already have in your possession? And a lot of times you wishing for love, but you man, how do I say this? Give me the words. How do I say this? This is why I'm gonna be successful. Cause one thing about it, I'm gonna laugh and I'm gonna be myself. And right now, myself is trying to figure out my next thought. I think I was saying or speaking to, what do you have already? And I think, I don't know if it's like a lack of appreciation, or if it's just this like push through social media and just in the world right now to get somewhere, to get a ring, to get a man, to get a baby, to get a job, to get a 3-story apartment, to get a townhome, to get a 401k, to get a Roth, to get a sports car, to get a place out in Monaco, to get the role, to get the girl, to get the man, to get the job. Do you appreciate what you have? Because that's a lot of issues. That's a lot of issues. That's a lot of issues for a lot of people right now. Y'all so bitter, selfish, and like, is if I ain't talking about you, I ain't talking about you. But y'all know people like this. And I don't know. Sometimes I just feel like rapid fire. I just want to like throw darts of accountability. And I know that's why y'all ain't seen a podcast like mine, because I may not know every study. I may not can quote every philosopher, but I can tell you this. I'm gonna show up as myself, and I'm going to create conversation, because I think that it's not enough. It's just not enough. It ain't enough real deal. Like it's people selling products that we don't need. It's people selling products that we don't need, and money is being wasted, time is being consumed. I feel like more people need to do what I'm doing, which is why I say you need to stop asking people how do I create content? How do you get? I understand maybe an inquiry, but you cannot base what you do off of the opinion of somebody else. Because if you cannot form your own opinion, how sturdy is your faith? How sturdy is your will? How sturdy are you? How sturdy is your Millie Rock? Game recognized game, and you looking real unfamiliar. But for real, like, it's about really catching and taking mental note. And I'm not saying you shouldn't have goals. Have big dreams, have goals. But, you know, just make sure that you are aware and you're not overlooking what you have for the sake of, trying to get to the next thing. And we know people like that. It's like you ain't never happy because you always, the diddler ain't never happy. Can't never be, never no satiated feelings. Like you ain't never, you just, I ain't trying to compare y'all to that man. But, dang, parallel. But y'all know, people just be greedy. Like, overindulgent, gluttonous. Stop being greedy for life. Stop being greedy. Greedy. Like, just a need for more. What do you have in your hands? What do you have in your pocket? What do you have at home? Some people swear they got relationship problems. Y'all swear y'all be going through relationship turmoil and looking everywhere but in the mirror to find happiness. Y'all don't be appreciating what you got. That's why you can't keep it. That's why you can't get more. You can misfumble people. You can hey, 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 hey. Triple entendre, okay? Hey, but it's the reality. I crack a joke, but I won't lie. I crack several. I crack some knee slapping, gut punching. But I'm gonna tell the truth, and it's gonna be what it's gonna be. And for real, y'all be fumbling stuff. You be fumbling your own opportunities. You just be fumbling life because you're always in a hurry. No slowdown. Like, that's just my take, though. These are just my takes. Just my takes. You ain't got to take them. You can flip the channel. But I'm sure you'll catch a clip or several through one of the trial reels or way in which they're going to get posted. So, I don't know. That's my spiel on that. It's like I say, though, I want everybody to win. I want everybody to the top. I want everybody to be happy and everybody to really just have a full life and whatever. But like, I'm only just trying to give y'all the things that I feel like have worked for me, things that I feel like could help. And us feel like it's important, if nothing else, to be using your platform in a way that is not self-serving. It's not about you per se. Like, you can't be out here trying to be a person of the people, but misguiding people, misaligning people. Like, I don't know. I don't want to go off into talking about necessarily that. Yeah. I don't know though. I don't know. But don't none of us know. My stomach growling. I think I'm gonna wrap it up on that. I don't need to condense or jam everything into one. So yeah, this is where we at with that. I think I'm gonna end it on here on this note. And like I said, I hope y'all are getting the points. And in this case, it's just figuring out how you want your life to look and living it on your terms. Being appreciative of what you have, understanding what you have goals, have dreams, have plans. You have a destiny, but you cannot get there no faster than you already gonna get there. You already have an expected date. You already have plans that are being made or that have, you know what I'm saying? It's a way already being made. It's a timeline for like a, y'all ain't gotta say it, but it's lit over here. Very root chakra-esque. And if you was wondering what my favorite color is, obviously, if Baudelaire is pink, hey, I don't say beside the point, but yeah. That being said, I'm gonna end it on that note. I hope y'all enjoyed this episode. We get into the double digits. Double digits. By the time this drops, I should have exceeded 100. Como se dice followers? Como se dice, yo? Como se dice, I'm happy and I'm thriving and I appreciate y'all tuning in. That's it. That's all. I feel like, I don't know. I'm just happy to be here. And I feel like it was something I wanted to add. But I'm gonna leave it at that. So on that note, thank y'all for tuning in, for following along, for laughing at my jokes, for thinking I'm pretty, for listening, for understanding, for soaking in information, and for just thugging and, you know what I mean? Like I say, I just want to kick it like Vegeta and Goku. I just want to, you know, kick it like we used to kick it on, what was that, Monday or Thursday night Raw? Monday night. Well, hey, at my granny house, we used to get over, it was, I don't care. I'm going to go off topic. But yeah, I want to kick it like that. I want to kick it like we used to kick it on one Saturday morning, cartoons, or I just really want to be, and I want this to be a safe space for people to be. So we gonna laugh. We ain't gonna cry. I'm too player to be on this camera crying. And anybody else who invites me to a podcast or to do an episode, it ain't happening. And I know it's coming. So with that being said, yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that. I love y'all. I hope everybody is keeping their head high and their standards higher. So that being said, y'all be easy, y'all be swell, and like, comment, share, subscribe. If y'all got questions, comments, want to know more, want to know, I guess, what do y'all want to learn more about? Because I'm gonna talk about what I want to talk about, but I am curious, feedback wise, as far as I'm curious as to see what people think. I was gonna go off into a joke. Actually, I'm gonna tell it. I was watching It Is What It Is, and Cameron and Mace was going in on Shakur. My baby Shadur is Shakur, talking about boxing. And he was, I guess, went on this 3-hour Twitter rant. And they was talking about how at one point he was saying he don't care about the fans, this and the third. And Cam was telling him, you got a problem with your hands. Like, they call you pillow hands. But he was saying how, like, dang, I lost my train of thought. Shout out to Cam and Mace, and It Is What It Is, because maybe that's where I'm headed next. But he was saying, ooh, this was important. I forgot. But this was important. But dang. It was something about, so he was on this rant. Shakur was on his rant. It's like, he named you after Shakur. Shakur was on his rant. I guess it was a trash boxing game. I didn't see it. It went 12 rounds. And Buddy went off into this rant talking about some Mason Cam is this, and I don't care about the fans. You ain't responding to the fans or your hometown. You talking about the people who have an opinion, who are paid to have opinions, who make more money than you with the opinions they have. And he was talking about just, I don't know, man. I just feel like, what was I about to say? I lost my train of thought again. The boy was basically saying he don't care about the fans. He don't care about people think. And again, I lost my point. That's okay. I can't figure it out what it was. I had a point there, but ultimately, yeah, that's okay. I might clip this, I might not, but there was a point in me saying that. And when I remember what it is, maybe me and Mason Cam we'll be in the studio together. You know what I mean? But until then, I'm really gonna close it up.